world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Talking about Tolkien, Ben. We finally did it. We have definitively elected Florida out of the Union, and now that no one can get enough electoral votes, the House is set to vote in Ralph Nader. It's finally happening. We did it.
I'm pretty sure this will come out after the election.
Yeah, I know. That's why I started like that.
So we don't know what's going to happen at the time.
I just told you what happened.
This. Ralph Nader
Florida was voted out of the Union because no one likes it, and the House decided, you know what, we're gonna go Nader.
We're gonna elect the ghost of Ralph Nader.
He's still alive.
He's still alive?
I had to look it up. He is still alive. So
wow.
we got a 70-year-old with Trump, and then we got an 80-year-old with Biden, and you know what? We're going for 90 this time. Ralph Nader. 2024.
Oh, God. Okay. Chapter 10. Strider.
I hardly know her.
Oh, boy. I didn't think this was going to be a long one, but it is not shaping up. It is not going well so far. So, can I just tell you before we start that this is another thing that hasn't come out yet. I sat down and had a conversation with actual author and patron of the show, John Bierce. And in that conversation, we got to talking about the difference between book Aragorn and movie Aragorn, even though that had nothing to do with the subject we were covering.
Nice.
But I just tend to bring all conversations back around to Lord of the Rings. And John Bierce said something to me that I have not been able to get out of my head since, which is that book Aragorn is essentially Dale from King of the Hill.
What? I feel like book Aragorn is a little less stupid, though. I don't think book Aragorn would make a guard tower without a foundation and then it falls over, comically destroying all of his property.
But would he have pocket sand?
I could see him having pocket sand.
So there you go.
I made a D&D character that would have pocket sand. So it's a solid strategy. So
yeah, I'm going to let you recap this as is tradition, but yeah, just imagine Dale Gribble's voice coming out of Viggo Mortensen's face.
All right. So last time, Frodo made a big old scene and disappeared in the middle of a room of just full of people. And some of those people may have gone and tipped off some black riders that happen to be around, and we're now dealing with the aftermath of that. So Strider follows Frodo, Pippin, and Sam into the room. Merry's gone, and Strider is like, all right, you did a good job. You stopped Pippin from spilling all the beans about Bilbo's birthday. That would have been real bad for you guys. You could have done it maybe without disappearing in front of everyone, though. Actually, I want to revise my statement. You didn't do a good job. It was actually pretty bad. Maybe don't do that again in the future. Maybe when I say keep a low profile, you keep a low profile instead of whatever the hell that was. But I'm here to help. Good news for you. And Sam is like, well, I don't know, Mr. Frodo. How can we trust him? And Strider's like, Sam, I could stab all 3 of you right now. I could gut all 3 of you like a fish and leave, and there's nothing you can do about it. And let's face it, your party consists right now of a guy who's like creepily in love with his friend and master, a guy who can't shut the fuck up and stop making bad decisions, and the smartest member of your party who is currently missing. You're gonna need me. You're gonna need you need all the help you can get. And that's pretty convincing. Then let's see. they talked about the possible spies like Bill Ferny, that bitch.
He really has it out for Bill Ferny.
That son of a bitch.
He has an evil name in the Bree land, and queer folk call it his house.
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
He's either really cool or really evil. He either has like the best Halloween party or he's going to kill you. It depends on which definition we're going with.
And then Butterbur, the bartender slash hotel owner slash whatever, he's like, he knocks on the door and he's like, oh, thank God found you guys in here. I just remembered. You remember last chapter how I said I had a thing to tell you and then I just kept getting distracted and wandering off? Well, I remembered that. Also, thank God that Strider guy is in here. That guy's a shady motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then Strider's like, actually, I've been in the corner the whole time. He's like, ah! But anyway, I've got this, okay? I remember. Gandalf gave me a letter a while ago. And here's the letter. And it's like, it's basically like, Dear Frodo, I had to leave very suddenly. There's some really bad shit going on. You should really leave by July. Definitely do not wait until autumn as originally planned. You gotta get out by July. I know you're hoping to wait a few extra weeks or maybe even a month, but nope. You are going to be big time screwed if you do that. You gotta get out. P.S. Really, really hope Butterbur gives you this letter in chapter 2 instead of in chapter 10, because otherwise, big time fucked. So here's hoping he did that. Oh, and be on the lookout for Strider. He's a cool guy, and he also has this. And there's like a poem in there about Aragorn.
Yeah, he started writing down some Led Zeppelin lyrics for some reason. I didn't really know what that was about, but but yeah, he just said like PPS. I hope Butterbur sends this promptly. A worthy man, but his memory is like a lumber room. Things wanted, always buried. If he forgets, I shall roast him. Farewell. That's the actual letter.
Yeah, Butterbur. He doesn't make it. Gandalf returns from the quest and burns him alive.
No, that's not what happens.
Everybody gets one. Every Maiar gets one. Okay, so
you get one free murder. Gandalf has killed before, and he will kill again.
But he's not supposed to kill the innocent. So here's his one. Here's his freebie. So, yeah, Aragorn is a hunted man, and let's see, where does... Oh, yeah, I can't remember if Aragorn says it in this chapter or the last chapter, how like he slipped into Bree behind them because he heard them
in this chapter
loudly talking on the road with Tom Bombadil.
So this is how he convinces them to trust him. He's like, what if I told you I know everything about your quest? I know everything about Bilbo. I heard you talking to Tom Bombadil. I've been following you the entire time. I could have killed you a bunch of times. Hey, look at my elf sword.
I could kill you right now, actually.
Yeah, he draws Narsil.
Yeah.
He has the sword. He's carrying the broken...
I don't think he has that in the movie, does he? Elrond has it.
No. It's sitting in Elrond's house on a little table for Boromir to knock over.
There's a it's called The DM of the Ring by Seamus Young, who's dead now, rest in peace. And it's about what if Lord of the Rings were a railroady D&D campaign, and he does retcon. He's like, you've got Narsil, and Aragorn character is like, what are you talking about? I don't see that on my sheet. So they have to quickly rush to Elrond. It's like, hey, here you go. Here's a sword. I reforged it for you.
Well, it's not reforged.
No, it's not reforged at this point.
So it's still broken at this point.
Yeah.
And he just carries it with him.
I mean,
it is like a foot of jagged metal. It's still pretty
it's what got rid of Sauron in the first place.
Yeah, I think there's enough of it left to definitely get rid of Sam. If he doesn't shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that Aragorn doesn't even need that. I mean, he can just kick his ass, stomp a mud hole in his ass, and walk it dry.
I've never heard that expression in my life, and I never want to hear it again. I don't know what in the Kansan nightmare world that was, but
that was some Stone Cold Steve Austin, actually.
oh, okay. Well, there's a little more to the chapter because I think they do find Mary in this chapter too.
Yes, Mary does eventually come back, and I think he's pulled back by, oh god, I don't remember his name.
The stable,
the servant
hobbit.
guy, stable boy.
Yeah.
He was like, I found him walking in the streets. He got hit with the black breath.
Yeah. Mary decided to investigate the ring wraiths, which he saw the ring wraiths, and then he decided, I better get a closer look, make sure they're ring wraiths. Oh god, they're killing me. They're killing me with their wraith powers.
Yeah, there's at least 2 of them here in town.
The hobbit who works for Butterbur in the stable shows up and is like, hey, what's going on over there? And they're like, oh shit, we gotta go. So I don't know why the ring wraiths.
Yeah, they don't like open conflict. That's not their thing. They say that multiple times because, like, Strider's like, okay, we are not, like, completely safe in Bree, but they're not just gonna, like, walk up and stab us in the middle of the bar. That would be really bad. And everyone would know of their presence, and they're in enemy territory until they get across the mountains, right?
Yeah, there's still, and the other thing is that really works in their favor too, because at some point you have to leave Bree.
Yeah.
And they can just wait. There's a long, long way to go before you get to Rivendell.
And they're also gathering more of their riders. I think there's 2 right now, maybe 4, but not all of the 9 are here.
Yeah, so they've got time. They have every reason to play it safe.
They black breathed Mary, and Strider's like, maybe you guys don't go back to your rooms tonight. Maybe you stay here instead. And maybe we make some really convincing hobbit dummies that we place in the beds so that if the wraiths break in, they think you're sleeping there and they'll stab it, and then they'll be like, ah, pillows, foiled again. How does the news get to Strider? Because Gildor told Strider, Gildor is traveling west. Everyone else is traveling east?
No, so Gildor, I told you this in the episode, but you didn't listen to me.
No, you'd start tying out the Noldor and the Eldor and
Eldor.
Nurgle. I don't know.
I don't even know what that one was. That's like a thing on Garfield. So
that's normal.
Gildor was escorting a group of elves that was going to the Grey Havens.
Say it what it really is. Gildor was escorting a bunch of cowards out of Middle Earth who were fleeing like babies.
Oh boy, I don't even want to make this joke. What with the world this may be being heard in, but like, can you imagine being mad at immigrants? Think about that.
You're leaving the country. You get back here so I can properly scapegoat you. God damn it.
We need to build a wall to keep the elves in.
That's Nadernomics.
That's Nadernomics. No, Gildor is on his way back from the Grey Havens. He just escorted a party there. He's coming back.
Oh, okay. Who the hell is that? The party he was with at Wood Shack?
Yeah, I don't know if he like went and came back or if he was on his way back then, but he has not left Middle Earth yet.
Yeah, good. Go to Helm's Deep.
He's not going to do that.
Peter Jackson said,
I don't give a shit what Peter Jackson said.
Oh yeah, here's what I wrote. Mary runs in and exclaims that he found a rider in town, no horse, and he followed him. And I said, God damn, Mary is a fucking beast. And in the movie, he's just a Pippin clone. And here he is, saving the fucking day. Over and over. Strider was talking about how Gandalf could only be hindered by one of the riders or the enemy himself, and then Pippin yawns. Fuck you, Pippin. Get out of here.
Yeah, Pippin's the worst. Mary is surprisingly competent. Sam is, the guard dog.
Oh, oh, oh. Mr. Frodo.
But there's a few other little details I would probably mention before we get into talking about.
Bill and the Southerner are going to grab Mary and dump his ass into the river or something, but Nob saves him.
Again, Nob, underrated Hobbit hero, right up there with Fatty Bulger.
And the chapter is concluding, and then we can get into whatever you're going to talk about.
Well, I was going to say there's a couple of details within the chapter that I think are good.
Okay, but first he's like, here's what we're going to do. When we leave town, we're going to do it early in the morning, try to avoid being seen, and we're going to make for a place called Weathertop. Nothing bad ever happens at Weathertop.
If anything bad were to happen at Weathertop, it would be the first time anything bad happened at Weathertop. Couple of the details I wanted to backtrack on a little bit. Butterbur also mentions that the Black Riders have already been here looking for Frodo.
And he's like, Baggins, I'll give you money.
Yeah, Butterbur tells him to piss off. I'm more scared of Gandalf than I'm scared of you. That's probably the right call to be honest. To be honest, I think Butterbur's head's in the right spot there. Well, Gandalf fights off all 9, right? So
was it all 9? Or
I think it's all 9 at Weathertop, yeah. Gandalf fights him off, and then we'll see that coming up. Like they see the battle. Yeah. Like they see it like flashing lights and stuff. But no, I think Gandalf, I don't know if it's all 9. You could be right. I don't know if it's all 9.
I just Googled it. Gandalf was attacked by the 9 combined.
Yeah. Yeah, so he could take all of them at once. Which is why it would have helped for Gandalf to be there. And I did enjoy the conversation between Strider and Frodo, where in the book, Aragorn is not this kingly, caring, ultimate, like a lot of people hold up movie Aragorn as like the peak masculinity, like the protector, the father, the big brother, like
doesn't have a job, lives out in the forest, makes his own way, trades acorns and shit. He's the perfect libertarian man.
Well, but in the book,
just like Vice President Mike Johnson under Nader. It's a very weird time we live
in. The book, he's not that. I mean, he is that, but the Strider personality is very much like, I kind of want people to think I'm this unreliable thug kind of guy. I don't want a lot of people knowing what I'm about or talking to me.
That's right. I didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose me.
Yeah. Yep, that definitely.
Aragorn, when he's Strider, he wears his ball cap on backwards, son.
But he's trying to convince Frodo that he's like, look, I know I am a squirrely looking man who just came out of the woods and looks like he just came out of the woods.
But unlike Radagast in the movie, I don't have shit directly on my face, so you can trust me.
But he is a dude who does not look like hot Viggo Mortensen. I mean, he might still be attractive, but he's like crazy hair, crazy beard, caked with dirt. And he's like, Frodo, you gotta listen to me, okay?
Frodo, you gotta listen to me. Frodo, we gotta go to the future. It's your kids, Frodo.
That's the tone he takes. He takes that like Doc Brown tone with Frodo, where he's like, you gotta trust me, Frodo. You gotta trust me. I heard you talking to Tom Bombadil. I'm clever. I have like good ears. I'm good in a fight. You should take me with you. I'd be an asset to the team. Like he's giving him the sales pitch, and Frodo's like, it's a far cry from him like dragging Frodo into a room and taking total control of the situation right off the bat. He's trying to convince
a little
Frodo.
Bitch in the movie.
Yeah, he's trying to convince Frodo to take him along, and he's saying like, you can't trust anybody. you don't know what's going on in here. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. And that's when Sam's like, yeah, you're right. We don't know what's going on. There are strange people in here. Let's start with this guy. Let's ask him some questions. And that's a pretty reasonable thing from Sam, because I did remember, and they hinted this in the movie a little bit, that Sam isn't super keen on Strider right off the bat. Sam also hasn't like ever interacted with one of the big people before. So he's a little nervous about taking a
Yeah.
non-hobbit into the party.
And you're not an elf, which, as we know, are the greatest thing ever, and I can party with all night.
To be fair to Sam, humans do sometimes kill people just for fun.
Hey now, depending on the world that we live in right now, that may actually be okay. Thank God, Nader, it looks like the House is going to be voting him in.
So I'm going to edit out most of the Nader stuff.
Damn it.
That's going to wind up in the outtakes.
Damn it, Ben.
Oh, there is one other thing. Aragorn's talking to Butterbur, and he's saying that he knows where the Black Riders are from. They're from Mordor. This is what I wanted to talk about.
Ah. Why do you know Mordor, Butterbur?
Well, because everybody knows that bad shit happens in Mordor. And there are people fleeing from the east. We got refugees from the east and south coming through, and they come through with stories. It's that big a deal. Like there are that many orcs amassing in Mordor. There's that much evil being called there that even Butterbur knows about it. And so when Aragorn says those riders are from Mordor, Butterbur's like, "Oh shit," and he's like, "Fine, you could stay here." And it's a big moment for Butterbur where he's like, unlike the hobbits, he understands the full implications of what he's signing up for. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do the right thing. Yeah, I gotta help you. If it's gonna stop whatever's going on out there,
plus
then
Gandalf will burn me to death if I don't.
Yeah, but he's not a coward. You know, he's a decent guy. He's just a little forgetful. But the other thing I like about that is that Frodo, again, sort of has this tone. Like Gandalf said, or not Gandalf, Aragorn's like, wow, has Gandalf told you nothing? And Frodo's like, not a damn thing.
I just now got a letter telling me to leave 3 months ago. What do you think?
Yeah, Aragorn, Strider, whatever the hell your name is. No one tells me shit. I'm just the guy who has to carry the evil ring while his soul gets eaten. Nobody tells me anything about dark riders from Mordor who have the black breath that can destroy your mind in a matter of seconds. No, nobody thought to mention that to me. And I love that. I love how that comes up again, where Gandalf's plans, that's a big difference between the movies and the books too, is that the people who are in charge are like way less mysterious and wise and way more like, I don't think you actually know what the hell you're doing, Gandalf. I think you're kind of just making it up as you go. And that is very like Odin of him. That's where we go back to that Gandalf is Odin, the Wanderer, because Odin often wings it and often winds up in deep shit. And he's powerful enough and smart enough to get himself out of it, as is Gandalf. But yeah, I love how we keep coming back to that, because I saw somebody talking about, and I think they were talking about the movies, but they were talking about how easy it was for like the plan to have gone wrong. Like, oh, what a stupid plan to send 2 hobbits to Mordor by themselves. And it's like, well, that was not the fucking plan.
That was not the plan at all.
No, the plan went off the rails almost immediately. And that's the energy Aragorn has right now. Aragorn's like, hey, I know nobody told you about me. I know you don't know anything about me. And I know I look like I'm going to be trouble. But let me tell you something. I'm actually kind of a big deal around here.
You can change me, ladies.
And I got some plans. I got some irons in the fire. I think I might be king.
Yeah.
King of everything you see.
Yeah.
Don't shut up, Sam. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, I'll take a shower before my coronation.
Yeah, obviously. I'm gonna like put my hair back and I'm gonna trim my beard and I'm gonna look. It's gonna look great.
Hot.
And you guys are all gonna be there. You're all invited,
Except for Boromir.
except for Boromir. I mean, he was invited.
He was very rude. He did not RSVP.
He was invited. I don't know if they get mail in hell, but he didn't RSVP. So, but his brother was there, so he was represented.
He was represented.
So his dad wasn't there. I mean, his dad might have been there, part of him, but
God damn it.
I will admit, the movie has affected my memories of Aragorn. I remember Aragorn being much more kingly from the get-go. He's just got big hero energy. And now that I read this, and I remember how different he is in the movie, I find myself in this weird spot where it's like, do you remember at the end of Fellowship of the Ring, the movie, where they go, Frodo's looking out at the horizon and he's like, I hope the others will be okay. And Sam goes, don't worry, Strider will look after him. Because Sam always calls him like Strider until the very end, because Sam is a very like first impressions kind of guy. But I was thinking back to the movie and I was like, I don't know if he has ever heard anyone call Aragorn Strider.
Oh my God.
In the movie.
We will have to look and find out.
Was Sam ever there when because the only person who ever says the name Strider is Butterbur talking directly to Frodo, where he's like, that's Strider, one of them rangers. And then nobody ever calls him Strider again. But in the book, Sam has this negative impression of him because he makes a negative impression. He sounds like a crazy person. He acts like a stalker. And he carries a broken sword. And he's a friend of Gandalf's, which, like, that could mean anything.
Yeah, that is true. Have you seen Radagast? I mean, holy shit.
So Sam has this, like, country hobbit impression where it's like, this isn't a proper lad, you know?
A Chad lad.
Well, and that's a little bit of Sam's character. Is like his first impression stays in him. He will call him Strider. He will be the only one calling him Strider for like the rest of the journey. And in the movie,
be like, oh, all hail King Strider. It's like, all right, I've given you ample opportunities to the gallows.
It is actually literally a law now that you can't use nicknames with me anymore. You will have to address me as Aragorn, Elisar, son of Arathorn.
You have to read my whole genealogy. Yeah. You mistake one name, off with your head.
Heir to the Númenorian throne, king of Gondor and Arnor.
And the Andals and the First Men. And yeah,
protector of the Westfold.
Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?
In Gondor. Doing Gondor stuff. But yeah, that's I like this chapter. I like the idea that the Black Riders are sneaking around Bree. I like that a lot more than what happens in the movie where they literally ride down the gate.
And they take a dude's head off, I think, like for no reason.
Yeah, they just ride in, kill a bunch of people, stab some pillows, and they're like, it's pillows, and then they leave.
Damn it, our weakness. Chicken feathers. Ah!
Let us check no other building.
Yeah, what if they never even came into Bree? Let's leave.
How did they know where they were staying?
They rode down the gates, they killed that gatekeeper, they caused pandemonium, and then they're like, hey, can you give me directions to where Mr. Underhill is? and the guy's like, oh yeah, he's over here. thanks, and he stabs him and he keeps burning shit, and then that's how they found out.
The book is way more suspenseful. It's way more.
I would agree.
I would say like it's way more like almost intimate. Like they have to hide from these riders, and it really keeps the reveal of what the riders are, even after Aragorn sort of tells you like they're from Mordor, they're servants of the Dark Lord. There's still a lot of mystery to them. You don't know exactly what they're capable of. You know, they have this black breath that takes Mary out, so you know they've got some kind of magic going on, and they're working with people. It's not one-dimensional bad guy that exists to be super powerful, but also gets their ass kicked every 5 seconds.
They get lit on fire and they run away and cry.
These guys are sneaky and cunning, and they talk to people.
Yeah, they bribe people.
Yeah, they know English and use words other than Shire and Baggins.
They're like, hey, I've got some gold. You want to...
What does the Witch King say in the movie? He says something to Arwen, like...
no man can kill me.
No,
she's
that's...
like, but I'm a woman. He's like,
that's Arwen.
Oh, that's Arwen. That's Arwen.
He says something to Arwen that's like, released or give us the halfling she-elf or something.
And then she's like, come and claim him. And Frodo's like, we're gonna get into that too. Like 2 chapters from now. Frodo is awesome. Like way more assertive. Even as he's got poison, spoiler alert, flowing through his body, he's defiant to the very end.
Is it weird that I like the movies less and less with each chapter we go through?
I finished the first book already, and I'm like, wow, they really did a lot of things dirty in this book in the movie.
Well, the thing is, I remember reading this as probably a 14-year-old was the first time I read this.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is dry. Oh, this is so dry."
Lots of camping. Who's this Tom Bombadil? Can we get back
and I was
to
like,
the writers?
You could skip so much of this, but it's like when you're going through this again and you know the whole story, you know what's happening. It's so much better.
And Bree is really good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just I'm older, or it's the whole like I know the lore so much better now, and I can appreciate everything that's happening. I don't know what it is, but this was the chapter where I was like, wow, the Fellowship of the Ring movie is really inadequate to the book.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not a Hobbit situation. I understand sacrifices had to be made, but I don't know. I don't think any of the adaptations is adequate for me to say like you don't have to read the book. I used to say the movies were pretty good, but I don't really think that anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's the recency bias of the book, though. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's it for talking about Tolkien. Hating on Peter Jackson. Those are the 2 things I do.
Yeah, and talking about Ralph Nader.
Yeah, talking about Ralph Nader. I don't know what the world looks like right now as you're listening to this.
Probably not super great.
I don't know what happened in the last week, but I know it's not good. And, you always read Lord of the Rings. You can't enjoy escapism unless you have something you want to escape. Take that to the bank and deposit it.
Yeah. Do it quick before the interest rates
before the banks
bottom out.
The
banks
collapse.
Yeah.
Sorry if that already happened. But if it did,
be like Aragorn. You got to go forage for your food. You got to stop showering. You got to be a man.
If the dollar is now worthless, consider becoming a $10 patron.
Yeah, actually, $1,000 patron. It's worthless anyway. Just give us all your money. You can't buy anything with it anyway.
I'm ending the podcast.
Bye.
The road goes ever on and on down from the door which began. Now far ahead the road is gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.